Hi everybody, I'm DJ Foster, joined by Grand Valley State head basketball coach Ric Wesley as we preview the upcoming 2012-13 season for the Lakers. Rick, last season a 14-13 record overall. Your eighth straight winning season here at Grand Valley State. You made the GLIAC tournament again for the eighth straight year. You bring back a couple seniors, three in fact, who logged a good chunk of minutes last year. Obviously, at the point guard position, Breland Hogan has started for you for a couple years, and you bring back Tony Peters at the guard position, and then Tyrone Lee, who made the all-defensive team last year. So not a big group of seniors, but a group that has definitely been productive over the past few years, and I'm sure you're looking at that again this year.
Yeah, no question, really. All three of those guys will play key roles for us this year. Breland is really a fourth-year starter, veteran guy. He's had some great moments during the time he's been here. Very talented, very athletic. One of our real leaders on our team. We're looking for him to really put it all together and be one of the top point guards in our conference. Tony Peters has been a guy who has been a consistent scorer for us. He's come off the bench, but he's always been a guy who can come in there and provide a great deal of offense for us. His shooting has improved each year. Yeah, I think he's farther along, although he's got a little bit of an injury right now slowing him, but nothing major. A year ago, he was coming off a meniscus surgery, and I think it really slowed him at the beginning of last year, and now he's had a year of conditioning and training, and I think he's more ready to go this year. So we hope he finishes off his career in a great way. And then Tyrone Lee was a new player for us last year, has really improved. Started off slow last year. I think it took him a while to adjust to a new program as well as the conference level play, so on and so forth. Finished the year very strong, as you mentioned, was on the all-defensive team. And I think this year, he is really ready to go. And I think he's going to be one of the really most talented forwards in our conference.
Three more returners for you. A junior, Rob Woodson. Rob was backup point guard last year to Breland. Did a good job in fill-in time when Breland was out. Then a pair of sophomores, and Ryan Sabin and Darius Norman, who certainly showed their potential last year and what they could be for you.
Rob really had some quality minutes for us last year, coming in off the bench, kind of a spark plug guy, good passer, good hustler, a guy who tends to stir it up when he comes in. He's a good defender on the ball. He's a guy who will get a steal now and then. So very much a spark plug type player for us. Ryan Sabin had a tremendous freshman year last year, started most of the year. Just kind of a good all-around player. He can certainly make the three, really improved in terms of taking the ball to the basket last year. I've seen some glimpses so far of improved rebounding, which I think will be a key. Having lost James Thomas last year, who was a talented rebounder from the guard spot. So, Ryan's in great shape. He looks more confident. I think he's really ready to go. And then Darius Norman was someone who it took him a while last year to kind of find his way. In the minutes that he was given, he generally did pretty well in practice, just struggled with the consistency and adjusting to the workload and so on and so forth each and every day in practice. But that being said, finished the year on a real positive, played well down the stretch for us last year, had a great spring, kind of was able to build on that. Went in the summer, had a little bit of a hamstring issue, so it slowed him up, and as we speak now, he's kind of nursing a little bit of a sore shoulder. So anxious to get him back out there, certainly with the year under his belt. I think he's going to have a much better season.
On your 15-man roster, there's a lot of new faces, 9 newcomers this year. Hopefully you know all of them by now. But in that group, 5 sophomores, 4 freshmen. There's some transfers mixed in there. What are you kind of expecting from the newcomers? Who do you kind of look to kind of push ahead and get some playing time?
Well, that's what we're trying to figure out right now. It's early in practice. We're giving everybody opportunities to get in there and show what they can do. Chris Zedax is a big, strong guy who transferred from Mississippi State, tremendous athlete, kind of an inside-outside player, certainly a strong physical presence for us, and he's made a big impression in a short period of time. So he's doing a good job. Darren Washington is a transfer from Robert Morris University, gives us some real size on the front line, 6'8", 6'9", pretty long arm. So he's really working hard. He's a very good defender. It gives us someone else who can protect that basket a little bit for us. I should list them because there's a big group here. I want to make sure I don't forget
Right.
anybody. Darren Kaputska is kind of the opposite way. He's a very small guy. He's probably one of the littlest guys I've ever coached, but just a real fireball, hard worker, excellent shooter for a little player. Got a big motor. I think people are really going to enjoy watching him play. Austin Summerfield is a kind of an in-between size player. Came from a really good program in Greenville High School. Had a great, outstanding senior year. Good athlete, hard worker. Still trying to make the adjustment in terms of size and strength and so on and so forth. Ricky Carbajal is another transfer from Quincy University. Actually started at Quincy last year. First 5 or 6 games of the year. Had an injury that put him out the rest of the year. Is now transferred to us. He's healthy. I think he's still trying to get his legs back after laying out for a long time. But really a good player. Came from a great high school program. Sort of a handy guy. Can score around the basket. He's got a good mid-range jump shot. So those are probably the guys right now that are the key guys that have really gotten off to the best start. We've also added a couple players. Brandon Barkley was a transfer from Dominican College in Chicago from Grosse Pointe. 6'6" perimeter player that gives us some added depth and length on the perimeter. And Brian Bolin is a 6'7", kind of, again, an inside-outside player, but is someone who has some size and strength, and played a year at Aquinas, so he's got some experience as well. I think that's our group.
You have another local kid, in Ryan Marley, who might not be a newcomer since he transferred at the semester.
We had 2 players that Ryan Marley and Ernie Ansons, who they're new players, but they actually joined us at mid-year last year. So whereas they haven't gotten a chance to play in the games yet, they have a little bit of a head start there because they've been with us for a semester practicing. Ryan is obviously an outstanding player, tremendous shooter, great worker, great leader for us. I think people are going to be really happy to watch him play. And then Ernie Ansons is a player who's from Latvia, originally Latvia, which is next to Russia.
There you go.
But joined us at mid-year last year. And Ernie is just a tenacious defender, excellent passer, good outside shooter, versatile player, can play the 1, 2, or 3 for us. So, that's a lot of new guys. Right. Those guys, like I say, they're new, but they've been with us a little bit. Some of the other guys are still feeling their way. But I like our group. I certainly think we're much more talented than we were last year. And I love our work ethic and our attitude thus far.
First time you'll get to go on the court this year will be in a few weeks at Cincinnati. You play at the end of October in an exhibition game there against a Bearcats team that was a Sweet 16 team last year in the NCAA tournament. I would say your biggest non-conference game would be at Bellarmine. Obviously, they won the national championship a few years ago, and you played them in a great game here in Allendale last season. Talk a little bit about your schedule and kind of the GLIAC as a whole, what you're looking at as possible competition from the rest of the league.
Well, that Cincinnati game, like I say, it comes up quick.
Right.
On the one hand, I look at it and I think, we got to get ready for that. But then on the other hand, well, it is an exhibition game. So, we're trying to do all we can to get in as much of our arsenal as we can going into that game so we can have a good showing. But then I think after that game, I think we have another 12 days before we play again. So we have almost as much time after the game as before the game. So we're trying to do what we can to be as ready as we can, but also knowing that the most important games are the regular season. You mentioned the Bellarmine game. That's a huge game for us. Second game of the year. Bellarmine won the national championship 2 years ago and was in the finals a year ago. So a great program, very difficult place to play. Will be a key inter-region game for us. So that's big. And then pretty shortly thereafter, we get into conference play. Our league, we have early December games in our conference. So, and those games all have the same weight as games in February. Our conference shapes up as a real dogfight. It's 22 games this year. The North Division is just a lot of good teams. Wayne State is now in the North Division. Ferris has pretty much their whole team back, it feels like. Michigan Tech's got the player of the year back. Saginaw Valley's got a new coach, renewed enthusiasm. Lake State has really given us some dogfights. Northern Michigan beat us up there last year, and Northwood beat us twice last year. So you go through that North division, and there's no easy games. And then, of course, the South Hillsdale's coming off a great season. Ashland's really seemed like they've turned the corner. And then we have all the new teams that have come into the league the last few years, Lake Erie and Tiffin and Ohio Dominican and now Walsh and Malone.
Right.
And not as familiar sometimes with those teams, but they're always ready to play, and it's uncharted territory sometimes for us when we go down there. So it's going to be a tough conference. It's a long grind. We're trying to avoid the ups and downs and just trying to put our best foot forward every day and make great effort and stay together, and hopefully we can survive it and come out toward the top, if not on the top.
All right, Coach. Well, thanks a lot for your time today. It looks like another exciting season of Grand Valley basketball. We said the start of the year at Cincinnati on October 29th. And thanks for watching this Grand Valley State basketball preview here on the Grand Valley Sports Network.